And we are live. Hello, Quest Army.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is Joff speaking.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 5th Quest Army Hangout. It is a very busy one. And I'm your host, Joff Brown, and this is my wife, Becca.
Hello.
And joining us today from the Quest Army, we have Tina.
Hey.
Stacy.
Hello, friends.
Sandy.
Hi.
Michelle.
Hi.
Joey. Joy.
Just joy.
Joy. And Judith.
Hello.
And our very special guest, the Grand Vizier himself, Marcello De Nardo. Hello everyone, how are you? I have to be honest. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit flummoxed by this. Marcello, it is an absolute pleasure to have you here. I've been looking forward to this hangout since the first one. So we're going to go straight into it, and I'm going to make other people talk. So why don't we open with Stacy? Why don't you ask a question?
Hey, Stacy, how are you?
Hello, my lord. I am just fine.
Listen to that voice. Where have you been last night? You have that like, hello, unbelievable. How nice. Speak up.
I swear this man gives me the vapors. Dear heart, you're terrible. You promised me no bad Marcello today.
No, I'm good. Look at me. Haven't done anything yet.
That's the problem. He is so good.
Okay, dear. My question is, did you anticipate at all the fan response to your performance as the Vizier?
No, not at all. I actually, no, I did not anticipate. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't expect it because, first of all, I didn't think about the social media, the whole impact of it. I didn't know, because I didn't know very much about the concept. I could not imagine what the show would have, that it would have such a kind of impact. I'm getting tons of reverbs in my ears.
Yeah. Is there anyone without headphones?
No, got none.
Maybe could you turn down the volume on your end just a little, just because the mic is picking up the output and broadcasting it back to the rest of us?
Who's that? Me?
How's that? Is that better? I can't tell who it is.
No, I have no noise in my house.
Yeah, I'm
Better now.
but I'm okay.
Better? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
So, but you, of course, it's always nice if you get if you're being pat on your shoulder, you get compliments, but not in that way. I did not expect that. How could you? It's beyond imagination, you know. The first episode, you more or less shit in your pants because you think, oh my god, I hope they love it. I mean, let's face it, you know, none of us is that cool that you sit there on your premiere's night and especially not while you're standing actually on stage, because I was working that night. So first episode I didn't even get to see. I didn't even get to tweet because, first of all, I didn't have an episode to watch because ABC didn't send us one, and it was really hideous. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what started that night. I just was hoping that it would be a great thing that started. And yes, I'm pretty overwhelmed. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Tina, do you have a question?
Stacy, can I have a question to Stacy? Are you, sweetheart? Are you shy today? Ah, you are. Big mouth, so quick with words. And look at her. She's sitting there like a lamb.
So cute.
Just for that.
That's funny.
Rosie.
Come back, come back.
Oh. Bad Marcello.
It's easy. It's easy to
Wasn't gonna
type.
do that to me.
I know.
Go
ahead.
Tina, why don't you ask?
Alright, hey Marcello!
Hey, Tina!
Marcello! Got that out of my system. I guess my question would be, is the world's already very dramatic, and the Grand Vizier is very dramatic. How did you stop yourself from going, like, really over the top? Or do you feel like you already did go over the top?
No, you see, you have directors and you have producers around, and they say, look, you're on the top now. You're on the highest level where you can go. You have to pull back a little bit. There were scenes. I remember when we were doing the beauty shots. You guys know what beauty shots are? The shots once the paladins were away, to save the scenes as much as you could save, because
Right.
you know, doing it live with the paladins, you only had one shot. And I was, let's say it gently, I tried myself out. and I think after the third or fourth version, Bertram from Munster came storming out and he said, "Come on, Marcello, it's camera. With that close, it's not theater. Pull back." I guess I got your point. The other thing is, this story requires drama. It was clear that it would be that kind of epic music underneath, and it's always a balance between how far can I go. You try. We're all human beings. Sometimes you fail, and you can see, whoops, did way too much with that moment, or I could have done more with that moment. That's always the case, because you don't have always time to check twice on the monitor. Sometimes time is rushing and you really have to be at it. But I think if you're conscious enough as an actor and have an eye on your colleague as well with what they give you, relying on that what you have to react on, if you pick it from there, it's like making music with each other. You know, one has a trumpet, the other one has a violin, and you just look that the trumpet is not too loud and the violin too low, and then you get in there. And sometimes the emotion of the character just has to do what he has to do, because everybody has a different story. If they all want the same, they talk the same, but everybody wants something else. So yeah, that's you never really know. You try. You do the best.
I think you did a great job. Great job.
Thank
It's
you.
just enough.
Thank you very, very much. I'm really glad about that.
Yeah.
Yay. Sandy, do you have a question for Marcello?
Yes, I sure do. Hi, Marcello.
Hey, Sandy, how are you?
I'm fine. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, where do you see, when the season 2 opens, where do you see the Vizier? How do you see this character evolving? Or do you...
I tell you something. This is like a mystery box, because it's not anymore like it used to be, where nobody knew anything about the Grand Vizier. The mechanic, the way the role has to work now, would be in an obvious way for an audience. You know, it's just like Judith, how would you say that in German? Kasperle-Theater?
Yeah, but I wouldn't know how to say it in English.
You know, there's a puppet play in German where the kids always know this is the bad guy, and the bad guy is probably standing behind the good guy, but the good guy doesn't know the bad guy is standing behind him. So this is one technical thing you could do with the Grand Vizier. Of course, he cannot show up and pretend he is helping the kingdom the way we thought about him before when we didn't know anything about him.
Right.
So I'm really curious myself what will happen with the Grand Vizier, the way he will interfere and interact with the story. Up until now, I don't have the slightest hint.
Okay.
We'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
fingers crossed.
Until then, we'll just play online.
Yeah, I tell you. I don't have a cape with me. I wanted to get it. Don't even get me there.
I'm actually surprised that no one brought a cape. I was considering it.
We're hanging out. Oh, really? We're here in private. It's nice.
So I actually have capes. They're in a box.
Joy, why don't you ask your question?
Sorry, a little bit shy. Question. What was it like when you first started seeing fan art of your character?
It's really awkward to see yourself all of a sudden drawn in a picture. What's it called? Oh, damn! There's a movie where I just can't think of the name. Dorian Gray, you know.
Yeah.
He got painted on a picture, and the picture's up in the attic, and he becomes that ugly person. Never gets old, but he becomes an ugly person. I'm a bit shy with that. On one side, it flatters me to see me on a fan fiction, or that somebody made a picture of me, and on the other hand, it's kind of weird to be the point of attention, you know, to be, you know, it's both of it. Because the other thing is, for example, the character that Nina Fuchte did of my face with pencil. I thought that was extremely well done because she got the extremes out, worked very well, and but that means that you look behind that what you see, the Sunday face and the everyday face when it smiles and when it's nice. So that's why I like the Nina's picture a lot. That was I would call a multi-layered artwork for me. So and it's really touchy, but it's as well weird at the same time. But I like it.
This actually might be a really good opportunity, Stacey. Do you have your little cloth friend?
Oh, I do. I do.
That Joy made?
Yes, I do.
I didn't see it. What?
Right
Oh
here.
my God! Oh God!
Complete with escape.
Swish!
That's weird.
It looks more like my Aunt Lena. I'm sort of weirded out now, Joy. I don't know what exactly you had in mind, but
I was bored and I had extra fabric.
I do things like that too when I'm bored.
What can I do?
I'm actually sitting in my sewing room right now with a bunch of half-finished projects around. But it's a wreck in here, so I'm not going to show it.
Okay, Michelle, why don't you ask your question?
Hi, Marcello.
Hi, Michelle.
I have a question. I was wondering, does the Grand Vizier have some talents we don't know of, like ballet or something like that, something weird?
I didn't get that. I didn't understand you. Sorry.
Does the Vizier have some talents we don't know of, like something weird, like ballet or something?
You think like ballet? Did you say ballet? Like he dances?
Yeah.
I could see
I don't
that.
expect.
I tell you something. For my taste, that Vizier is weird enough. He does not need to dance. No, I think for my taste, you know what? It might as well be that he has a very tender spot somewhere. But I tell you something, I didn't find it. I was working with him, and God forbid, if I picture him twirling through the courtyard, spreading his arms, holding his cape, going like, wee, like this. Spin, motherfucker, spin! No. Oh my God! I probably, who could you imagine, Rob Eric, seeing me do pencil turns like man, and one flick, Jesus Christ! No. That's a scary thought to me. Let me stick with magic, and I'll be fine. No, I don't think so, Michelle. I think that's it. That's it. That's what he does. What he did in the series. That's him.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Okay. Judith, do you have a question?
I have a question on my own, yeah, but before I get to this, as most of you know, Liselle from Denmark is a huge fan of the Grand Vizier, and since she couldn't participate in this hangout, I offered her to ask a question on her behalf. So, but instead of just telling me her question, she sent me this, I hope you can see it, beautiful scroll. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Asked me to read it,
Yes.
so I'm going to crack it open now. I'm a little bit afraid because she said something
It's
about
Liselle.
venom and poisoning and stuff, but yeah, let's see.
It's from Liselle, right?
Yeah, it's from Liselle from Denmark. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I hope I won't break it now. It's sealed. Just 1 second. I don't want to rip that beautiful paper apart.
Either the seal or the paper, one of the two has to go.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Wow, that really is beautiful. I'll show it to you afterwards. Well, thank you, Michelle. No, thank you, Liselle, for ruining my good reputation. It says, to our Dark Lord, the Grand Vizier, we, your loyal followers on the northern part of the other world, hereby pledge our allegiance to your cause and deploy our skills towards whatever future you desire for Everrealm and its denizens. We have been permitted one question. We would like to humbly ask this. May the Vizier army take it upon itself to free the remaining dragons from their lairs. Respectfully, Alexander Martin. Thank you.
I'm glad she picked you to read that question.
Me, out of all people.
Well done, Liselle.
Well, do you want to say anything to it, or shall I proceed?
The answer is no. Sorry.
I'm glad. Okay, let me see what I can ask you. Oh yeah, I read about your plans on emigrating to the USA, and I was curious, did you already think about moving there before the quest, or was it the show that gave you the courage for this big step?
I was 23 when I got a job offer when I was in San Francisco many years ago. I was a youngster. And we couldn't do it because I just had signed contract for Chorus Line in Vienna, the original production. And we parked on the side with our car, and I was sobbing. I was sobbing to tears because I really didn't want to go home. I wanted to stay in the United States just because of the challenges that are there. But the thing is this: with 22, you do not know the things you know about yourself you do when you get older, and the secureness of simple questions like, will I succeed in my job? Am I good in my job? I know today, and you have to know that on a certain point, otherwise you will never be able to negotiate contracts. If you don't know your value, you won't get anywhere. You always have to wait on somebody else who tells you how much you deserve. And so I knew when I was young this would not be working. I wouldn't have the self-esteem to fight through. Today, after so many years being in business and in theater mainly, I mean, I've done movies as well, as you guys know, but let's say 85% I've been doing theater, and I just do not experience anymore the same thing between curtain up and curtain down between when I experienced 10 years ago, for example. And I knew it was time for a change. I usually have a rhythm. I think we've been talking about it, Tina, in your interview. I have like a 7 to 8 years rhythm where I have to toss things and turn them around. But except for this time, I've been in Germany, I've done Italy, I've done Switzerland, Austria, even twice, Germany twice, and it was a great time and it was big fun. But I wasn't interested in France because it's a completely other language, another culture. East, the same thing, you know. Europe is full of variety, but diversity as well. But at the same time, it's small. You can't spread out. You don't have one language that covers an entire nation. You have like I don't know, hundreds of languages and dialects and different tastes and everything. So I knew I had to go somewhere. And the last 10 years in Vienna, they worked out so perfectly for me that I managed to get all the prerequisites I needed for the visa I wanted to apply. And when I was in the, I think it was the 10th or second week of the quest, I sat in the car and we were on the highway, and I saw the highway sign, and all of a sudden I was kind of dreaming away, and there was like last exit, and that was like a shock, because I thought, oh my God, this is it. That's where I have to go. And I knew in the minute when I finished the thought, that is the right direction. At least I have to try. I have to get out of the comfort zone. Vienna is very comfort. Europe is very comfort. My contracts all felt very comfortable. And whatever happens, whether I succeed in the United States or I fail, it has already changed and tossed everything upside down. So I'm ready for new chances. And this adventure in the United States is a really big one. That is the biggest adventure I'm gonna have, because this is not moving from Zurich to Vienna or from Vienna to Hamburg. This is major. This is like changing life 180 degrees. So, but the filming, just to close quick the question for Judith, of course was. The filming on the quest had a huge impact on it, because it made me realize how much I wanted to do filming. This filming was always my big love. I grew up with Gina Lollobrigida, Marcello Mastroianni, and I thought they were also fantastic and gorgeous, and I kept dreaming of them, but I just could not, because of doing theater so much, which I loved as well. Theater will always be a part of me, because I'm on a stage and I'm happy as a fish in the water. That's home. I don't even have to think about it. My body knows by itself what it has to do. But if I'm in a camera, there's a completely different challenge, and doing it in another language is it's so mind-boggling sometimes, and I forget breathing and all the things and stuff that comes in natural usually is not working when I'm doing that film. So I have a lot to discover and a lot of things finding out, and of course seeing the result on the quest. And I thought, oh, actually your face does not look that stupid. I think, no, but really, I tell you something. Many when I saw the reels from the movies and the shows I was doing, if I see them on TV, I could not watch myself. On one hand, you have to watch yourself because you want to get better. You want to get your shortcomings. You want to see them where you can say, oh, I should have holded that thought a bit longer. This one was too long. That's how you work when you check yourself on camera, on the monitor afterwards. But at the same time, it's the same thing with picture. It's kind of awkward to see me because you always have the picture in your mind, and you have to forget that in order to react and act naturally in front of a camera and not reproduce all the time that what you've been criticizing on yourself or what you've been liking on yourself when you were talking before. So yeah, did I answer your question?
You answered my question.
Blah 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 blah. Never fucking stop talking. Really.
No, you did great, and I think with your attitude, I think you really will make. You will be good in the US.
Oh, fingers crossed, babe. Right now we're there that we have to wait that all the working papers come through. Many of you have been asking me, so what is the situation? The situation is this: application has gone through, and now it's the part with the green card that has to come through. The last documents, everything has been sent off. Just waiting for health check and the fucking stamp in my freaking passport. And I hope it'll be January that I can move. I would love to. I'm so ready to. Yeah, it would be great. Yeah, I'll let you know. Anyway.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Becca, why don't you ask a question?
Okay.
Hey, Becca, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing very well. How about you?
Yeah, very nice. We had a lovely chat the other day while some other people were working.
Sorry, Duff. Sorry about
It's fine. I'll just leave.
We don't mind you at all.
The question I actually had about the Grand Vizier is because he was such an intense character for you to play. Mm-hmm. We've heard stories from Rob about how you, as the actors, would kind of go with him and swarm to decompress after a day of shooting.
Yeah.
So I'd be kind of curious to know how hard was it for you to actually just kind of come down from being in that role?
That was Suzanne and I. We had a little bit the same situation. That was the hardest part, and we actually did not come down at all. This was for us. We felt once we got thrown into that whole thing, the first time we came on the base camp, I mean, that was a little village, a part of all the trailers, the makeup rooms, the catering tent. That was a little village on 3 floors, on containers. That was amazing. It took you 10 minutes to walk through the whole thing. And the costume department, art department, they had their own little factories there, just to prepare things on the fly. That was so overwhelming. We could not come down, and we didn't want to come down because that was like Christmas, New Year's Eve, and birthday all at the same time, combined with beautiful weather, fun people, and the very intense working schedule. So. We played billiard. We went for a beer, especially Jan, Rob, and I. We could not. We just had to. It was madness. It was madness for 3-4 years. I actually refused to see my friends from my normal life because I didn't want to spoil that. I can pronounce and explain that now. I couldn't at the beginning because I was so anxious not to lose 1 minute of that feeling. I mean, come to think of being a normal person, all of a sudden somebody stands there in front of your apartment and picks you up. I mean, even on my day off, I was waiting for my pickup. I said, "Where's my driver? Idiot! You're off today. There's no driver." And you actually don't even want to have that day off. You want to be on set. You want to be in costume. You want to perform with your colleagues and feel that intensity you have because your mind is constantly working. Constantly. If you, it's not like in a theater play where the texts from your brain went down in your soul. They're only there superficially. If something goes wrong, if you're not concentrated, you talk bullshit. You talk the wrong text. You cannot afford to let your concentration go. And but still, I was exhausted. I wasn't even able to talk for 2.5 weeks. I didn't pick up phones. I didn't go to the internet. I did none of that. Because I just really had to calm down and rethink about the whole stuff. Staying healthy, soul-wise and body-wise in this business has for me a lot to do that you have to recheck yourself whether your ship, your boat, is still going in the direction you want it to go. So that in order not that you lose yourself, because if you lose yourself, you don't know where you belong anymore. And film and as theater is not reality. These are not the people that come and help you in case you feel bad. These are not the people that call you up and say, "Hey, happy birthday," or "Oh my God, you're feeling awful." Yeah, this is not reality. It's just not. But at the same time, it is reality. But it it has nothing to do with your private life, and so that was really hard to come down, but it was bliss, it was heaven. That's how it was. I was sobbing my eyes off when I had to say goodbye to Suzanne, Jan, and Peter, because I wanted to hang around them and walk around in silly costumes and swish.
Okay. Becca's going to step away just for a second. I'm actually, I have a really good question. I was going to give my spot up for someone on Twitter who really want the answer to this one. Rob Eric revealed 2 days ago in Thursday's Hangout that you had auditioned for the role of Creo. And I was kind of hoping that you could talk to us about that. How would you have played Creo?
It would have been a completely other Creo. It's normal because every actor has his other, let's say, gate and doors open for a role. A part of my drama, let's say, abilities and viziers and villains, I have a huge, how do you say, I'm quite good in comedy as well, and for me, Creo was always a comedy figure. I loved extremely what Jan was doing with it, because it had a lot of dignity and a lot of magic to it. Just because the way he was pulling the dreamer out, the way he spoke, he took the stuff he said always serious, and we've been swapped over with actors who don't mean a word serious they're saying, and you go like, oh my God, come on, just mean it for 1 second. I really loved it, and but I know it would have been a completely character. For me, it would have been more a character that would have been much more under stress, just because the situation in which he would have been in, if I had played it, would have been a much bigger one. He would have had a lot of stress, and out of that, a lot of bullshit would have happened probably. And my character probably would have been running all the time, because whenever there's an ogre, what do I know? A leaf from the tree, I would have gone, run! I don't know. They probably would have killed me, the paladins. That fuck off, leave us alone. We're better off without you, So, but I honestly, I was so happy when I got the Vizier, because that's the part actually I wanted, because there's a depth in the character somehow, where especially on the first speech where he talks the first time about 1,000 years ago, when the first disaster happened, and I like that. I like to have that for my story, to the moments of calm, just watch and look and think and be a projection for the audience. This is sometimes nice, and I love to be be mean in a character. It's just nice.
Do it well.
No, really?
Really? I heard you, Miss Carpenter.
Like I said.
I'm doing good so far, am I, sweetie? I had
Marvelous, dear.
what was hard for me though was, after first 10, 14 days with the paladins, it really was hard to stay nasty with them or mean with them and giving them because I tell you something, you know it in every actor's eyes when it's as if they would roll in they shine different, eyes do look different if the emotion is up, even if they're laughing, and that's when we spot multi-layered. Maybe they're furious, but they're sad underneath, and they could giggle at the same time because their nerves and the adrenaline is so much there. Nobody wants to go home, and some of them really, you could see the tears in their eyes when they had to go, and the ones that could stay longer in Everrealm, and they really were brave because, mind you, we actors, we got driven to the next set. But some of the paladins, they've been walking from one set to another one for hours, and that they were just amazing, and they really wanted it so badly. They interacted. They were so inspiring for us, and sometimes it was hard to keep that mean face and snarl in the voice. But then I thought, fuck it, that's how it is.
Fuck it. Love it.
Okay, we actually have a real interesting request from Bear Bear. I think everyone knows.
no.
Yeah.
Bear Bear would like to see a few seconds of the Vizier.
No.
Would you grace us with his presence?
No.
Not happening.
Not happening. No.
Bear, it's not
And there it is.
Bear Bear, I'm so sorry for you. Watch a videotape. Go on Hulu. Do whatever you want to do. Just rewatch. Really. I'm so far away from it, and I don't intend to go in there now.
Wow.
And you don't
Sorry.
have your costume.
If I have my costume?
No, I say, and you don't have your costume. I always find it really hard to play a role when you're not wearing your costume.
You're so right. But, you know, there are bed sheets.
Yeah.
There are always bed sheets.
That reminds me. Yes, I just forgot about that. No, but I was yesterday saying to I'm gonna spoil Renegade's interview.
Oh, no.
Tough titties. It comes out next week. Because about the bed sheet, because I was telling the Nerd Renegaders that I was practicing with the sheet because I nearly stabbed Rob till he agreed to make that cape longer. It was because it was 1.50 meters long, and I thought, this is not enough. You know, that doesn't look good when he comes into the room, and it needs to have more material. And him insisted that, okay, we need more material on it, and once I had it on and the material was on, it was really hard to walk with that thing without tripping on over your feet, because if you turned around and all the material was wrapped around your legs, you would have gone bam like this, you know, cosmetic catastrophe. And so what I did is I took the blankets, I sewed them together at home, and walked, because I had my Vietnamese apartment had double doors, you could all open them up, so we had one big room. And I was walking around doing my text, going through the scenes, especially the first one that has a lot of swishing and twirling in it, and the same thing with the Queen's Chamber, and I did my text, and I was walking around the room, and somewhere I stood in front of the wall, you know, not noticing it because I was sort of gone into, but that's kind of silly, but I was gone into the in the Vizier, and I stood in front of the wall saying to the wall, I do not take orders from you.
Oh no.
And you know, and then at that point you think, come on, you're an adult. What the fuck are you doing there? 2 o'clock in the morning. But that's what you do because it makes you secure the next day. You know how to handle your regalia. You know how to handle all that. It's like with the swords and the knife. If you don't practice that stuff, you can't do it. Everybody of you guys who done sword fighting, I think Tina, you did. You did
Yeah.
sword fighting. You know
Yeah.
it best. If you don't practice, you don't make it. And it's the same
Right.
thing. Same thing with shoes. You did. I mean, you stood on stage as well, right? If I remember that correctly. So shoes is the same. You need the right shoes, and if the shoes have to be original. And I hate if costume designers are so stupid because they know nothing about actors. Whoops! Come back, Marcello. Yes, but it's true. So many, they give you the new shoes, the original shoes, like a week before you go on into the premiere, just to not to ruin them. But listen, this is the whole point. It's all in the walks, so you have to practice. So that's what I did. But anyway, it's kind of stupid standing in front of a wall pretending it's Peter Ansgar, Windhopper. Whatever.
Okay, we've got just shy of 20 minutes left, so I'm gonna do what we've done in all the previous hangouts. I'm gonna turn it over to you for a little bit, Marcello. Do you have any questions for us, for the Quest Army, for any of us individually or as a group? Do you have any questions that we could answer?
I want to know, Tina.
Yes.
You're becoming a journalist, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, for you, what is more important today? Is it going to be the electronic news, the internet? Is it going to be the print papers? Do you see a way to combine these two for you? And which theme will be your ground theme? Is it art, cultural? Is it politics? Is it business?
For me, it's definitely electronic. Just everyone I know is on their phones, laptops. Even there's some major magazines that are going to electronic form. So I think that really kind of tells everyone what direction it's going in. So I'm definitely, and I'm more comfortable with electronic. I feel like you could reach your viewers a lot faster, and in this day and age, everyone wants it like now. So, hence the Google Hangout Live. Everyone loves that. But then for myself, I really enjoy media, such as TV shows, movies, anything kind of like, I guess you would say, nerdy related in a way. But I love TV shows because a lot of people, they see it and then they want to know more about it. So I don't know. I enjoy interviewing actors, giving them a space to kind of talk more on the characters, which people really love. So that's my goal right now, is interviewing. Lots of interviews.
Where are you standing? Are you on the beginning? Are you progressing? Is it working out?
So far it's working out great. I actually was very I guess relaxed about it. I don't want to say motivated, but like it wasn't a huge thing for me. But then the quest came out, and I got this weird motivation to start interviewing people, and it started out slow. Peter and then Lena were my first two. And then it just snowballed from there, and then I got this crazy drive where I was like doing multiple
you were working like crazy. Yes.
Yeah, and I actually am working on 3 more today after this. So I have to say the quest has really motivated me and really pushed me. So I'm still kind of starting out, but the quest has really gotten me comfortable with a lot of stuff.
Good. I had a feeling too that you were growing on it while doing it. The stuff I saw it from the articles, the way they were written, and I really enjoyed that. Thanks so much.
Oh no, thank you.
Judith, I want to know. You told me the other day you were going to go to that. What was that? A convention with your book?
Oh, yeah, it's Europe's biggest fantasy convention called RingCon.
Yeah.
And since there are usually about 3,000 people from more than 22 countries on that convention, I thought it might be a great idea to participate in the art contest with that book. So everybody who is on the convention runs by the book at least once that weekend and has a look at it. And then maybe it would make the people curious about the quest and watch it.
how come it's not so known that we have these conventions? I mean, in the United States, the conventions are so big, and thousands and thousands of people are coming.
Yeah.
How come this is not working? Are we so much behind in Europe? What would you say?
I'm not so sure about Europe. I'm quite sure about Austria, though. Because in Germany it is quite popular. I mean, we have a
Right.
Star Trek convention and a fantasy convention and a vampire convention, and the people keep
Yeah.
coming from very international, from all over the world. So
Okay. No, I meant that more specifically on the industry. Like, for example, if you go on any kind of cons in the United States, it's so big. You see all the stars. You see the media there.
Yeah.
It's over the newspapers and the news. And I didn't find that because I lived so many years in Germany. Never heard anything of it like it. So why is that? Are we a bit behind of that?
I think so. That's a really good question. I regret that a lot, that it is not making public, yeah, not getting published so much. No, yeah.
Okay.
And we would
How
love to have all of you on the convention, and I really tried, and Nina tried, and Michelle tried. We all sent emails to the organizers of the convention saying, hey, we need these people. You wouldn't even have to pay them a very expensive thing. No.
are you in? What do you mean you don't have to pay them? Oh my! I'm so glad you're my. Oh, I'm so glad you're my agent.
That was what I'm going to say. Listen to me. I was saying they wouldn't even have to pay you a very expensive flight ticket like they do for all the New Zealand actors on The Hobbit, because you and all the others are in Austria, which would have been a lot cheaper. But they didn't agree. You're making fun of me.
No, got it. Thank you. I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. No.
No, you're not.
Bist mir gerade so schön ins Messer gelaufen.
Ja, damit habe ich gerechnet bei diesem Hangout.
Oh my God. Stacy.
Okay. Any other
Stacy.
questions, Marcello?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, Stacy.
Yes, dear.
You started work one thing, right? But you started working on something else as well. I wanted to know how it feels, because I know we had some rough messaging going back and forth where I was not cursing you out, but I was a little bit shit.
It was a much needed kick in the pants. Thank you. As we talked about, I got discouraged very early.
Yeah.
There was a point where I thought I was doing well, and a critic came in and said, "You have no idea what you're doing."
Mm.
And so I shut down. I just quit doing it. But you've inspired me. The quest has inspired me.
Cool.
And yeah, it's coming along. It's hidden somewhere in all of those emails that you keep getting from Twitter.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, I think what I still found hard after so many years in business is to deal with critics. And I especially to my younger colleagues, when they ask me how do you cope with critics, first of all, I don't know how it is in the United States, but not everybody who writes critics, and we're talking now about the public critics, print medias, and people in the internet, many of them did just never make it in a show, on a stage, writing a book. That if they had, they wouldn't have need to writing critics. There's always like watching from the outside, two people making love, and you're not a part of it. So I take them. Me personally, and we talked about it as well, is that I'm always careful to whom critique I'm listening to.
Yes.
There's just certain newspaper I just couldn't give a fuck less, because I just go, no, they're idiots. So always the headline letters are way too big, so in order they don't have to write so many characters. Already there. You can go by the level of intelligence there. And with friends giving stuff to read, wait, you don't have to give things to read to anybody after the first, second draft. Keep that stuff, and and forget about the scissors you have in your mind about write that what you want to write and that what you want to do. And what I read, what you sent me, I thought it was extremely cool, and I wanted to keep on reading. So once again, I just wanted to make sure that you keep doing it. That you keep doing it. It's really important.
I am. I sent you a revision today, in fact. So
Yeah, I
when you have time.
Yeah,
You're very
sometimes
busy. I understand.
Just so you know, sometimes it takes weeks and months just because I'm glad of every second and minute I don't have to look into a computer or into a screen.
Yeah.
Since the Quest came out, this has been taking over my life way too much. and friends of mine are looking at me weirdly saying, "Oh my God, did you become a technical wizard or something? You're doing Google Hangout. You know which button you have to press." And things like that. And I said the other day I sent it an email with my smartphone, and they looked at me like, "You know how you do this?"
Create this.
Because my face used to go pale if I had to use technology, because I'm really not interested, and I start learning about the benefits. So, but really sometimes, and as well sometimes I have my head full. Just so you know, sometimes I have my head full with my own stuff, and I don't care what others do because I have and I have to work on this material and then this material there inside. So just so you know.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for anyone else, Marcello?
Yes, Joey. I want to know, because you're such a quick and fast, witty writer, like so many of you guys. You're incredible, and it inspires me a lot. I want to know. I hope this is not too private. All of a sudden, you disappear sometimes for weeks. What is it? What happened? You just stuck and piled up? Because sometimes, you know, I was so used to see your artwork and all this stuff, and then I went like, where did Joy go? I haven't seen her for I don't know. What's happening?
Some of it is my job. There for a while I was getting off early at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, but then my boss started a new project and I'm there till 5 every day, and it's just exhausting.
What do you do?
So, that's a little difficult to describe.
Right.
Basically, I work at an office that sells data to real estate agents. So if a real estate agent wants to know, you know, what are the mortgages like in this area, I go pull that information and send it to him. A little bit of a weird job. I enjoy that part of it. My boss makes things really difficult, and so a lot of my energy daily is just dealing with work, and I come home and I think I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to look at anything. So that's it a lot of times. There's also some this is not a huge secret. I've talked about this online a lot. I have bipolar depression that is currently not being treated because I just started a new job, so I'm broke working on that, but it does make it difficult some days where I think, okay, I do not have the energy to do the internet today. And I'll just go off and just read or sew or something.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you try to stay healthy and balanced in your soul and in your mind.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Keep on doing that. Yeah.
And I probably will not be doing much on the internet in November because that is, I assume some of the other writers in the group are familiar with National Novel Writing Month. Yeah. It's a day where people challenge themselves to write a novel in 30 days. This will be my 11th year doing it.
Wow.
So I will spend most of November writing, and probably not online that much.
How long has the novel to be?
The official length is 50,000 words. At this point, I usually do 100,000.
Wow.
I did 200. One year I did 200,000. I don't recommend doing that because I couldn't form coherent sentences for about a week after finishing that one. So don't do that.
50,000 was a challenge for me. I did it 2 years running. It was tough.
Yeah, I think there have only been 2 years in the last 11 years that I haven't finished one, or that haven't at least hit the word count goal.
Wow.
So.
Okay. Marcello, questions for anyone else?
Sandy.
Oh, hey.
How, you seem, for me, you're one of the busiest person in terms of organizing this and organizing that for other people, and I wanted to know how, just out of curiosity, and now you can say, look who's talking. You're as on the internet as I am, but still, I had a feeling you're doing that much, much longer than I do, and I wondered somehow, well, where remains space for you and the stuff you want to do if you're so often online? How'd you get your stuff done a day when you're that often? Because you seem to be very organized and very fast on things. You know, I see words like I'm jumping at the computer, I'm doing the running off. It's like you have all these words where it implies somebody's not just walking from A to B, he's like flying and like lightning. How do you cope?
Well, first of all, I don't work. So what I do is basically do fandoms and all kinds of stuff, and that's what I do. I do groups. I do Twitter. I do a lot of stuff online. A lot. Sometimes I have to decompress. So I read.
That's what I meant. Yeah. How you?
Yeah. That's what I do. I read. And that's pretty much what my life is. I just. That's it. I read and I work online. I do fandoms. I watch TV a lot, and I just enjoy. I enjoy like the vibe that the Quest had, and there's a couple of other shows that I enjoy too. So that's what I do. And when I decide I've had enough for the day,
I
just open my book and read. That's what I do.
Yeah, family.
Yes, I do. I have 4 grandkids. I have a son who's 30 and a son who's 16. And my husband is very supportive, and he doesn't work. He's retired. And so,
yes, it's just because you say you don't work. I mean, you're keeping a household. You're a housewife, right?
Yeah. Well.
Hello.
Yeah, I guess you could call me that. I cook sometimes.
I don't work.
Yeah.
I don't have a family and have a household. No, I don't work.
No, I do. I do, but I don't work outside the home. How's that?
Okay, yeah, but still, you have to, and that's what I meant. So
reading is really the way that I cope.
Cool.
That's what I do. So. Reading and fandoms.
Yes, Michelle. Michelle.
Yeah. I sort of lost connection.
How about you? You're not that. Oh, you're gone. Bye bye.
No, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I fixed it.
I don't see you online that often. You use it more rarely actually compared to the others.
Yeah, well, I used to be online a lot more, like every Q&A on Twitter after the episodes, but I got very anxious, and I'm very shy, and I'm very uncomfortable with talking to people, and this is a huge challenge for me to be here. So I try to be online a lot, but then I want to say something and just shut down. So I try to be online, but it's hard. And because of the time zones, I have to get out of bed at 6 a.m. and most of the Hangouts and live tweets are at 3 a.m. So I have to live. I have to sleep. So if I have to choose, I go to bed.
Same story here.
Yeah.
I got lucky today.
So,
Duff, I wanted to know about the idea, setting the Hangout up. How did that come along? Is this something where you want to go? Are you changing something in your life right now? Are you developing other plans?
That's actually a really good question. Let's start with the beginning of that. The Hangouts happened because, and I'm going to blame Tina. I came into the fandom just after the 4th episode. I hadn't seen any advertisements. I hadn't seen any marketing from ABC. Absolutely disgusting. And a friend of ours told us, there's this show. You really have to watch it. You will love it. And we caught up. We marathoned the first 4 episodes. And we were introduced to the Quest Army via David Patterson. David, if you're listening, thank you once again for the group. Thank you for the
Yes.
And it's become such a large part of our lives, being a part of the Quest Army. And within that first week, we wanted to do something. We wanted to give something. And seeing Tina's phenomenal interviews.
Thank you.
Actually, you're very welcome. I mean, Tina, big love for you. But that's what inspired me. It made me realize that all of you, cast and crew and paladins and executive producers, you have all been so available to the fandom. You didn't have to be. Collectively, you've treated all of us as equals in many respects, and you've been so available, and we love you all for it. That the Hangouts was honestly the least I could do, because it was an opportunity to take several members from the Quest Army and put them in front of one of you cast, crew, paladin, EP, and have a conversation and get to meet you, and it means so much to all of us. It means so much to me and Becca, and I know to everyone here today. I mean, we are huge fans of yours, Marcello. We're huge fans of the Quest. That's why the Quest Army exists. But as for changes in our life, I just think we're exploring possibilities. I don't think hosting is the direction I'll keep going, because I'll be honest, it's terrifying. And the nerves.
Geoff, it's only terrifying if you have boring people. Look,
you're absolutely right.
It's the same essence. A good script is a good script is a good script. A good actor is a good actor is a good actor. If any kind of those basic things are rotten, you won't go anywhere. So if you have boring guests, the show will be boring. If you have interesting people, in which you do, I watched some of the Hangouts, and the thing will work. And just by the way, from the first to this one, there's a huge development. The way you pull through and lead through, so there's always progression going on as well. I might think again about that, because to moderate something means you have to kind of, to people to follow you and the show, you need to be trustworthy enough to do so. It's just to give you that thought with it as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have a nice day today, and it won't last forever, I tell you.
I plan to keep doing these as long as there are people to do them. And I think it was...
There's over 300.
I think it was the Hangout with Lena that said, there's 300 people. And even then, there's still everyone in the Quest Army to talk to.
Yes.
And I do plan, everyone that is watching, I plan to talk to every single one of you. I will convince you to get in here. I ask per Paladin Gym, step outside your comfort zone. It is so rewarding. These are absolutely terrifying. But I love doing them, and I will continue to do them, and I want the entire army to be part of it. So reach out to me, reach out to Becca, reach out to any of us, and we'll make this happen. We've actually passed the hour mark. I could honestly keep going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the broadcast, so unfortunately everyone that's watching us live, I am very sorry. We're going to have a private party. I promise this. We're now actually going to ask the real questions. I kid. I will stop the broadcast just so that I can keep these episodic and keep them to an hour. I just want to thank all of you. I want to thank Judith, Joy, Michelle, Sandy, Stacy, Tina, Marcello. Thank you all so much for doing this. It's just, it means the world to me. It means the world to the Quest Army. Thank you, Quest Army, for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.